Okay, so this is just a quick shout out video here. Uh, just want to let everybody know about the White Label Lube Company. And, well, a quick backstory how I got into White Label Lube. Those of you that know me, I'm 52 now, but I started loading at 5 years old. I've been shooting handguns since I was 4. Started shooting my 357s at 5. As my daddy said, well, boy, if you're going to shoot them, you can load them. I ain't buying them for you, and I ain't doing the work for you. So I started loading at 5 years old, been making my own bullets since I was 7. And, yeah, the poor old lubricizer here, that's the same lubricizer I started out on when I was 7 years old. So anyway, and ignore the mess in here, I just kind of screwed it down to the chop top in the old chop here. Had a lot of flood damage and everything out here. Still working on getting it straightened out, cleaned up, but I was in a hurry to try these things out, so I just went ahead and slapped it on, and so we're just going to go ahead and lube these up, and I'll worry about the mess later. So, like I said, ignore the mess. But anyway, how I got into the White Label Lube was about 18 years ago, I guess it was now, because this is 2025. Might have been 10 years ago. I don't remember if that was 13 or 15 that I started. Anyway, my gun guy, who left me to go in the real estate business because the whole ATF crap got so bad, and he's like, nope, I'm just going to close up shop. I was at that time running the Thompson Blue Angel, and then of course that got discontinued, and I went to Lyman Orange Magic for all my handgun bullets. Well, they was out of stock on the Blue Angel, and of course that was when they were just discontinuing the Blue Angel. Then they were out of stock on Orange Magic, and that was when I was ordering from Midway. So I called my gun guy Mike, and Mike says, well, he said, the only thing I can get, he said, I can get some here. He said, it's cheaper lube, but it seems to be pretty good lube, so if you want to try some, I'll order you some. I said, okay, go ahead and order. He said, they're bags of 5 sticks. You get 5 sticks. And being the lubricizer, these run hollow sticks. Now, you can get the sticks in either solid, or you can get them in hollow, where the hollow is your plunger, goes down through the middle. Basically, if y'all watch my lube video, that explains all this, but those of you that know how to run a lubricizer, it's pretty clear. But, they have a hole through the middle of them that they just set down over the plunger. You tighten it down and lube your bullets. But that's a technical video for later. So anyway, as far as these sticks, he said they're, that time I think retail he was ordering them, it was like $2.10 a stick, which was about a third of the price of any of the Thompson lubes or the Lyman lubes. So they were a third of the price. But what he ordered me was Carnauba Red. Now, Carnauba Red is a rifle lube. Again, I'm doing another video on difference in lubes, what they're for, this, that, and the other. But like I said, this is just a shout out to my new bestest friend, Glenn Larson at the White Label Lube Company. But, so I got the Carnauba Red in, and the thing about these lubricizers, when you put lube in, of course, lube, this holds your stick of lube, and then when you tension it, the lube comes through here, and then comes up through your size, which sizes the bullet, the perfect dimension, and lubes, and sorry about the video, my camera has a lag thing here, and then it just fills in the lube groove of the bullet. So anyway, I had a bunch of rainbow colored stuff because I had some Blue Angel in it, had some Orange Magic in it, and I stuck me a stick of Carnauba Red in it. So I had rainbow colored lubes on my bullets. But this has to empty out before the next starts going in. Anyway, me being lazy, because this whole reservoir up here stays full, you have to run a lot of bullets to get all the old lube out. Or you have to completely disassemble this, heat up the body of the lubricizer to get all the lube out to change lubes. Well, I figured if it's good enough for rifle, it's good enough for pistol. So I just stuck the Carnauba Red in it and went to running. Finally, I don't know, a couple thousand bullets later, all my bullets finally started coming out red. But instead of changing lubes out, I just stuck with the Carnauba Red. Again, this was 15, 17, 18 years ago, whatever it was. And anyhow, what the Carnauba Red is it's carnauba wax. Now, Glenn does have a Carnauba Blue, and he did send me some of it to try. But now that I won't be putting in my lubricizer. I will be hand lubing if I use that. Just because, as I said, you have to run all this stuff out before you ever get the new in. So the reason I stuck with Carnauba Red is I got into lubing rifle bullets for friends. A buddy of mine, he had a, I think it was a 1980-something model 30A Marlin in 30-30. So what he wanted was just some cheap practice loads. So I ordered him a set of molds, and I got the 115 grain round nose flat point, 115 grain, made to take a gas check, just for cheap practice loads. You know, we're gallery loading a lot of them. Some of them I was loading 1,500, 1,600 feet per second. That's out of a 30-30 rifle. But we got to load them up full house loads. And I was running, started out, we worked our way up. I started out at 2,350 feet per second. That was without a gas check, lubed with the Carnauba Red. Zero fouling, none. We got them up to 2,550, zero fouling. Again, this is without a gas check. It's like, okay, we loaded them up at 2,700, and they was about mean average of around 2,700, 2707, 2716. We'll just call it 2,700 out of a 20-inch barrel, 30-30. We were getting just the tiniest bit of flake fouling. When I say flake, I mean just like powder, not stringing, none of that. Well, I figured let's try this stuff out. Let's see what it's going to take. Of course, again, this is with my proprietary lead mix, which that's another video if you want to see about how I do my lead mixes, temperatures I flux at, pour and all that. But that was with my proprietary lead mix. And we got to load them in a 30-06. We had to put them in an 06 to get them up to enough velocity to where we finally got some, and I mean some like a little, lead fouling. And when we hit 3,000 feet per second, again, this is without a gas check on a lead bullet. With the Carnauba Red, we had to run it up to 3,000 feet per second to get any sort of lead fouling whatsoever. And again, I'm not talking about, stringing the lands and grooves. We're talking about mild lead fouling at 3,000 feet per second with a Carnauba Red. So, me being the lazy person I am, I'm like, I'm just going to run all Carnauba Red. Again, at that time, when he ordered me the sticks, I thought I'll try it out. So I got 5 sticks. Well, 5 sticks goes a long ways. That's a lot of bullets. Well, I ordered another 5 sticks. Didn't know anything about the company. Never even heard of them at that time. Well, here about, I guess, a year and a half ago, I need to get some more lube. But, of course, nobody carries it. And I thought, well, I'll go direct to the source. So I got on the internet and chased down the number, found the White Label Lube Company. And so I called. I had some questions about other types of lubes, and I was like, well, I'm curious about your lubes and all that. And got to talking, so me and Glenn got to talking, and then we talked, and but anyway, he sent me some samples. We tried some stuff out, and of course I'm still sticking with the Carnauba Red now, but I am going to try out the other. And any of you black powder shooters, he has the Swiss BP. This is basically what they use in 1,000-yard black powder shooting. And if you need black powder for black powder cartridge cases, 4570, 45110, 5100, any of that kind of stuff, he's the man to see. Glenn knows his stuff. So he was sending me some samples of the Swiss BP, and lo and behold, in the box, I get this. Wasn't expecting it. He just threw them in there. Of course, I told him I was going to send him some bullets to try out because, you know, I do a lot of molding. And this was after I got the 460. So he sent me some of these, and he's like, well, that's for the Rugers. But I said, I can stick them in a 460. But these are 454, 323 grain. Now, I did weigh the bullets. And, of course, that's wheel weights plus monotype, air-cooled. Well, they say 323. I weighed them out. 8 out of 10 come out at 324 even. 2 out of 10, they'll bounce between 323, 324. Yeah, that's to be expected with cast bullets. They're not going to go straight to the grain. Anybody that's ever dealt with lead, you know that. In different batches, you'll get different weights. But these came out 324 even. And I'm running them through a 452 sizer. I did mic the bullets before I sized and lubed them. They mic'd exactly 454. I'm running them through a 452 sizer, and as you see, they coming out perfect. They're not slaving. I mean, they're just coming out beautiful. Can't wait to actually get these things in the 460 and try them out. But I'm lubing them with the Carnauba Red. Again, that's a high temp lube. Don't really need it for pistols. Make a long story short, me being a lazy person, instead of me changing lubes, okay, I'm going to load 9mm. You know, I've got to have pistol lube. I'm going to load 44s. I got to have a higher temp lube. I run my 44s hot. Yeah, I'm loading 40 Smith & Wessons. Well, instead of me changing lubes back and forth, I was like, screw it, works for rifle. I just put Carnauba Red in my luber, and I run everything from 380 to now the 460s. 308s, 30-06. I'm running everything in Carnauba Red. But again, that's just to illustrate how lazy I am. But Glenn has every lube under the sun. He makes his own lube. He's got his own recipes. He does this all himself. I mean, the man knows as much about lube as I know about bullets. So, anybody that's going to get into molding, or all of you folks that are molding, if you haven't heard about the White Label Lube Company, and again, everybody that knows me knows that I absolutely, positively do not give recommendations But now, Glenn, I mean, I'll give him 5 stars every day, all day. So if I give anybody a recommendation, I mean, it's a glowing recommendation because I just don't do that. But yeah. So just wanted to give a shout out to Glenn. His name's Glenn Larson, White Label Lube Company. And anybody that needs his info or contact or anything like that, he is listed on the internet as a White Label Lube Company, LLC. But if you need contact information or phone number, feel free to hit me up. I'll give that to you. But just wanted to give Glenn a good shout out here. And this is the only lube that I use now. Forget Lyman, forget the others. Not only is Glenn cheaper, it is so much better quality. I mean, it's not even comparable. Everything he does, everything he puts out, I mean, it is just 100% top quality. And those of you that know me know how, well, as the ex used to say, was that, ANL retentive word, you're just too picky. I am a perfectionist. And so anyway, Glenn's got my thumbs up 3 times over. So if anybody needs any lube, White Label Lube Company, his name's Glenn Larson.